Kings and things. This your girl, Queen Dee Dee, what Dee Dee said it. Came this morning, again this morning. I don't know why I haven't. I've been. Good morning. I'm telling y'all. Y'all think I'm joking. Good morning, Trouble. Good morning. How you doing? Good. Now listen. This cat went to moving around, and you know I could see him moving. He has not been doing anything but snoring. Literally. Now all of a sudden he woke. But it's okay. Again, this your girl Queen Dee Dee with Dee Dee said it. All I could tell you to do today is just whatever you do, just make it count. You know, it's when I go to my casinos and my arcades, the first thing I do when I get a bonus, make it count. Make it count. This don't count. Sometimes we got to understand that everything not gonna count. It's gonna be things that go on with you, and you're gonna wonder, how did this get thrown in the equation of me doing okay, of me being in a good space, of me feeling as though I'm at peace inside? How did this come into play? This don't count. And it makes you want to question. I know I'm going to have some of those naysayers and some of those Christians out there that's actually going to go against what I'm about to say. And I'm okay with it, because one thing I could tell you is to each its own. It's not written just one way, the way people try to say it's written. You have your own relationship with the Lord. And because that's your relationship with the Lord, nobody can take that from you. So if you have a question that you want to ask the Lord, don't get so caught up in this microwave generation of these church naysayers and these Christians, and not bashing or downing anyone, but I just do not like when people tell me, oh, you don't question the Lord. How do you get answers? What is your definition of questioning the Lord? When you have concerns, it's like any other relationship that you have in your life. You got to have these relationships, and it's called communication. So if something is going on and you like, okay, make this make sense. This doesn't count. You have the right to ask the Lord to guide you. You have the right to ask him why. You have the right. Now, it's almost like a kid though. My kids had the right to come and ask me questions. It's just how they ask me and what they're asking me. And it's up to me to decide which direction you're coming to me in. How are they speaking to me? Because I know I'm a person. Don't make me laugh, y'all. I know I'm a chatterbox. And I'm an only girl raised by my dad. And I always had questions. And sometimes I didn't have the answers for it. Like why a stepmom would not like me if she don't even know me. Just different questions like that. Why is it that as good as I've been to a mother-in-law, why does she still treat me like an outsider? Why? It always made me wonder. It always made me question myself, because I didn't know who else to question. But I can tell you this. When I start asking the Lord, I start asking him, can you make this make sense? Because this can't count for me. I don't understand why things are like this. But what it was, the questions that I was asking the Lord was, will you show me how to get around it? Would you guide me to where I need to go? Would you keep people and things from around me that's not supposed to be there? Would you show me the way? That's questioning him. Who said you can't do that? A question is a question. So I'm only going to say this to you. Sometimes things don't make sense. And you do want things to count sometimes, especially when you're so used to being in a slump. You're so used to feeling bad. You're so used to feeling unwanted. You're so used to feeling unloved. And the Lord, what he'll do when you ask him, whoever you serve, whoever you pray to, whoever you talk to. I told you the other day, talk to your front door, ask your front door to open it so you can get out through the screen door. I don't know how that's going to work, but you still got to ask the front door, because that's who you pray to, or that's who you ask for stuff. I'm being funny, but you know exactly what I mean. I don't want anybody telling me not to question the Lord when it's me that have to build my relationship with him. Don't tell me not to question. How else do you get answers? You got to understand what questioning the Lord mean. And that's where we have so many people put in these boxes, and they're scared to speak up. You know, they don't want to go speak to their pastors. They don't want to speak to the first ladies of the churches, because those first ladies of the churches, what they doing is, you know, they got to report back to the pastor, and then they got a lot to say when they're in front of you. But when they get with these pastors and, you know, the rest of the congregation, because they don't want to quote unquote look bad, what they do is they pass judgment against you behind your back. But this was supposed to be a no judgment zone. So what they just did, they crossed out that path of communication. So if you can't even go to a pastor that you're supposed to trust, you can't go to members of your church, you probably can't even go to your mate, you can't go to certain friends. You got to pick this friend for this one and pick this friend for that one. What do you do? So for someone to say, don't question the Lord, tell me why. Had I not questioned the Lord to look for the answers that he's been revealing to me, how would I get to where I'm at right now? How would I be able to express my feelings to you and to be able to help someone that may be going through the same thing that I'm going through? They just don't have anybody to talk to about it, or they don't even understand. They don't understand how to even get to a certain space. I heard a lady say the other day that she was stuck. And I'm going to do a video on her, and I'm going to send it to her. She said she was stuck. I don't know what all she's stuck from, but being stuck is stuck. No matter which direction it come from, you can be stuck because you're overeating and you don't know how to stop. That's a serious issue, whether people think it's a joke or not. You got people stuck where they can't get out their head because they feel like something is always negative. You got people stuck where they feel like they're not feeling appreciated and loved. That's still stuck. And in order for you to get out of being stuck, you got to find your way. And a lot of times, and I say it every time I come and talk to you, a lot of times when a person is stuck, it's because they got to go underground. When I say go underground, please don't get like Portia Williams and don't throw no stones at me, people, because you know I toss them back. It wasn't my fault. She said about going under the ground with the railroad. Hey, don't blame me, girl. I'm only repeating what the woman said. That's not the kind of underground that I'm talking about. When I say underground, I mean sometimes you got to separate yourself from people, separate yourself from family. Oh, that's a hard thing to do, is it? So is it harder to separate yourself from people, or is it harder to be stuck inside? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. Is it harder to be separated from people, or is it easier or harder to be stuck inside? I'd rather separate myself from people, because when you stuck inside, you can never get out of that, even when the people go to bed. So y'all just make sense out of some of the things that you hear. Make sense out of some of the things that you read. Make sense out of some of the places you go in your affiliation. You can do anything. You can go anywhere. You can speak to anybody. Just make sure inside that you have started setting boundaries. And I said, and I haven't said it yet, but I'm about to say it now. In order for you to get somewhere, because you've been through so much, you have to find a way to go underground. You go underground within. You have to find a way to start being selfish. Not the selfish on the other side. You got two types of selfish. You got that one selfish where people always need you. They always want something. They always got something to say, but they never reciprocate that back to you in a positive way. You got to find a way to be selfish from those type of people. Once you are selfish, you don't have a choice but to become lonely. Selfishness is just that. Selfish is one in my book. So if I'm selfish, how long before I'm going to start feeling lonely? The longer you are lonely, in the beginning, loneliness is hard. It's hard not being able to call someone to just hear you vent. It's hard not being able to have someone that doesn't mind asking you, how are you? That's lonely. But you're always a lending ear for them. That's outright loneliness, man. You can't trust your mate. Your children sometimes not even on your same level because they too busy being selfish. At the end of the day, selfishness eventually leads to peace. You'll find your peace in it. But I'm going to tell you, if you're stuck, the only way you're going to get out of being stuck, you got to find your way in a different way. Because when somebody tell me they stuck, I know exactly how you feel because I've been there. Some days I still think I'm stuck, but I'm not stuck that way anymore. I'm stuck on the other side now. I'm stuck now because I could see things that I needed to see. The Lord has opened up doors for me to understand why this happened. I come to you all the time and I have no choice. And I show you that this is horrible. I think I really realized that I was stuck because I thought I had it under control. But I realized that I think I hit a space when that happened to me because I knew in the bottom of my heart that I didn't deserve it because I know I didn't touch anybody. I know I didn't deserve to be treated that way. But what the Lord was really showing me is you're stuck. And the only way, the way I've been moving, the way I'm always on the go, the way I have make time, the way I have prayed, the way I have did things, I was stuck. For me to be such a talented one, good woman, but I was still stuck in other ways that people can't see from the outside. You got to have that feeling. You got to know from the inside when somebody's going through something. You got to be able to look at them and just know inside that they're going through something, and what they're going through, it's the same thing I went through. My daughter was telling me about a little girl. Say the little girl, have issues inside. And I told my daughter, I said, if she ever want to talk to me, she's more than welcome to. I said, you're more than welcome to give her my number. I said, because the average person don't know how to help a person when they stuck. Some people are always telling you to go to, the psychologist and, see if you're depressed or, you got anxiety issues. That may be true for some people, but for a lot of us, that's not the case. And we're tired of explaining it. But you don't have to explain it to me because I know exactly what you mean. It's not that you don't have a mental problem. There's nothing wrong. The bottom line is you're stuck inside and you really don't know which way to go. And I'm not throwing a race card out there because that's not the case all the time. But when you're living in it, you kind of feel like sometimes as a black woman, why is it so hard for me? Why is it that I can look at other people and it seems like it comes so easy for them? But when you talk to them, they kind of tell you their struggles and stuff, but you're sitting there listening to them and you're like, your struggles aren't like mine. I don't know how we were deemed to be the ones to come and suffer. But if you're feeling like you're one of those ones that's here and you're suffering, you need to find your way from a tunnel or you're going to get deeper in there. If you stuck, you got 3 things you need to do. You need to find a way and hit that selfish side of you. Once you hit that selfish side of you, you need to realize that loneliness is a part of that struggle. Once you come from that lonely struggle, loneliness get a lot easier because then it turns into being at peace. But once you accomplish that mission, because it's not easy, I can assure you that it's not easy. If you feel like it's easy, I promise you, you better come again. It's not easy. Um, just know once you come out that struggle, you need to start practicing your lights. When you pull up to a traffic light, you got red, yellow, and green. I'm going to tell you, start with yellow, because when you start noticing things after going through such a struggle of getting at peace, you're going to have to proceed with caution. You proceed with caution and you start paying attention a little bit more. Don't pay attention to a paranoid side or sign, because then you're paranoid as hell, okay? I ain't tell you to go out there and get paranoid. Then we talking about Dee Dee said it. No, Dee Dee didn't. Dee Dee didn't tell you to go act paranoid. Dee Dee told you to be woke and pay attention. Practice that yellow light. Yellow light tells you to proceed with caution. If you notice that while proceeding with caution is not working, hit the red light. See the hand? Hit the red light. Hit the red light and stop right there. You done been through enough. Why go back to that type of situation? Why go back to that type of life? Why go back to that type of stuff? Why go back to those type of people? Why go back to that place? You don't have to. Because once you've been through so much, you know what your boundaries are. So you need to practice that yellow light. That's proceeding with caution. When you notice that something is wrong, you need to hit the red light. When you notice that, okay, things are a little bit more clear, I can go now. Don't ever just go. You go back to that yellow light. Proceed with caution. Then you hit your green light and you go. But while you're driving, you always need to be with caution. Drive with caution. That's how you're going to do your life. If there's anybody that wanted to speak to me, you're more than welcome to leave me a message. What they call it, DM me, email me, text me, reach out to me. I am a person, I do get quite busy, but I never get busy for someone's heart, because I know how I feel. At about 50 years old, I can just, you don't know my struggles. And my struggles wasn't nothing where I was physically abused. That wasn't a struggle. I feel like I was mentally and emotionally abused. I do. But, and mistreated by friends and family. But guess what? Once I found my peace, I noticed that they're not important like that for me anymore. And guess what? Those be the ones that always try to come back, because they're selfish. Don't allow them to come back in your life. It's not worth it. Don't allow that. Don't do it. Find you an outlet. Find you something to do in your time. Find you something that you like. Matter of fact, look in the mirror. Look back at them. Find something that make you happy. Find a reason to just say, I'm beautiful. Go take a shower. Go take a bubble bath. Hey, go make a dish. Go walk in the neighborhood. Go lay down in your bed. Sometimes I get a phone call. They say, what you doing? I say, laying in the bed on my back. And who you hanging with? Me. I'm just me. This is your girl, Queen Dee Dee _slotting. Like, comment, subscribe. If you don't do nothing else, I say get to know me. This is your girl, Queen Dee Dee _slotting. Talk to you soon. See you later, trouble. Bye. See you later. Okay. He said bye, y'all, and so am I.